there's just certain things men in our position will never ever be able to experience, and certain things we'll never ever have. You know, I've kind of been in the dumps and kind of just been in my feelings a little bit, and I was just thinking about my grandmother and how just a few years ago, not that long ago, I was at my grandmother's house or whatever and had my own little neat cave, my own little room. I can smoke weed in there when I want, play video games all day, watch anime. Not because I was lazy and I just didn't want to do nothing with my life, but because I was severely depressed. And I didn't have anybody to really help me do what I really, really, really needed to do in life because my dream and my inspiration, my aspirations, you kind of need a team to do it. You can't just be by yourself. That's pretty much everything in life if you want to be truly successful. Try getting a job right now without knowing anybody and just going there by yourself and getting a good paying job where it's a cool job where you're happy every single day going. It's going to be damn near impossible unless you know the right people, right? And I was just thinking, man, I'm an old man, very old, and my grandmother will never see me get married. She'll never see me achieve those milestones in life. And what makes it hurts even worse is that she was alive long enough to actually see those things if I would just have my mind right and if the damn demiurge wasn't constantly and persistently and relentlessly and mercilessly attacking me and going through all of these psychological battles, going through all of this trauma and drama. It's like all I wanted to do was be successful in what I wanted to be successful in, and I was punished. It's like this world has it out for certain people. Like certain people are not supposed to get above their station, meaning that this demiurge or whoever it is, whatever's controlling this world, which I believe is the demiurge, but it's it doesn't want certain men, it doesn't want excess men to like be happy. Have you realized that about life? Like seriously, it seems like life always has something to break away your peace. You could just be sitting there minding your business, and you'll just have a random evil thought come inside your mind, and little do you know you're being monitored by some type of monitoring spirit or some type of interdimensional being that's watching you, and you don't even know it's there. It's in another dimension looking at you, and that entity's job is to make your life miserable. Whenever you get too happy, whenever you get peaceful, it comes and like all of a sudden, you get kicked out, or all of a sudden this happens, or all of a sudden, your dad gets on your ass about finding a job or whatever, and you've been looking for a job for months and you still can't find one. And then he gives you an ultimatum: either hurry up and find one or get out or this, that. And you just, God dang, it's just like those few little moments of peace that you have watching your anime, you know, wanking off, looking at that pretty girl on Instagram. Like, there's just fleeting moments. And when it constantly compiles upon you, it can really break you and destroy you, man. Like, honestly. And it's just, I just been thinking, man, like life doesn't wait for nobody. This world doesn't wait for you. This world doesn't care if you've been going through it for years and you just want peace and tranquility. This world only cares about money, looks, money, and status. If you ain't got the looks, you ain't got the money, and you ain't got the status. And it's just that simple. And yeah, are there any type of guys that, are traditionally unattractive that have money? Yeah, there's some like ugly guys that have money or whatever, but you got to look at how they earned their money, you know? And if they ever get a girl in their life, that girl's going to resent them because that girl doesn't really want to be with them. She's probably older, and she probably doesn't want to be with that guy because that's not her first choice. She didn't want to be with that guy in the first place, and she's going to be cheating behind his back, and he's just going to be a better bucks cucks of deluxe, and it's just going to be brutal. But there's certain experiences in life, man, that haunt you, and there's certain experiences that stick with you forever. Like if you didn't go to prom, it doesn't matter if like you're like, oh, I don't care about going to prom. There's gonna be moments when you see, people younger than you that are going to their proms, or you may have family members younger than you talking about prom or something like that. There's gonna be moments like of that. You're gonna be like, damn, what if I went to prom and got lucky that night with a pretty girl, and how that would have gave me more confidence to pursue and chase my dreams other than just, on prom night, stay inside playing Xbox or, wanking off to some adult illicit material. And let me tell you something, young men. If you still have family members, if you still have people that you care about, you know, I know a lot of you probably don't, but like for the few that do, make sure you try to spend some time with them. I know that sounds blue pilled and it sounds cliche, but I'm serious. I wish I could hug my grandmother one more time. I wish I could hear her voice banging on my door and calling my name and telling me that the food's ready or dinner's done, or telling me that she got the neck bones and the gravy and the chicken and all that done, and she made some candy yams and some green beans and mashed potatoes. Like, I miss that. It's like my life was terrible. Don't get it wrong. Like, my whole life has been terrible, right? But in 2021, I had some type of, I wouldn't call it stability, but I had some type of familiarity. It was familiar to me. When you go from being a NEET for a decade, and because from the age of 23 to the age of 33, I was a NEET. This is why I relate to young people. I don't act the people around my age, because I look at everybody who's around my age. It's like everybody's a wage slave. Everybody's either married and like they're getting bullied and punked by their wife, and then a few people that are happy. They got luck and they got help to get to where they are in life. And one thing I don't like is when people try to, oh, you're lazy because you don't want to work a job, blah, blah, blah. And they try to put their job as if that's something to be proud of, as if being a wage slave or a wage cuck is something to be proud of. Do you know what's something to be proud of? Being a multi-millionaire and getting to live your dreams out forever. Being Moist Critical, making $35 million off of YouTube. That's something to be proud of, because you ain't got to kiss nobody's ass anymore. You ain't got to bow down. You ain't gotta, get disrespected and humiliated. You ain't gotta go to these job applications and these job interviews and all that. It's just brutal, you know? And it's absolutely ridiculous, man. Honestly, it's just, I don't know, bro. It's one of those things, bro, where it's like certain experiences you're supposed to have. You're supposed to get your first kiss. You're supposed to have your first love. You're supposed to have these things happen to you. You're supposed to go somewhere and meet a girl for the first time, and you guys, have a one night stand. You hit it from the back. You know what I mean? She slurps you up, whatever. You feel that confidence as a man, and she goes back to her boyfriend, or she goes back to her fiance, or she goes back to whoever, go back to being single and ready to mingle. And then you go back to, to your homies, or you go back to your Xbox, or you go back to whatever girl you have, if you even lucky enough to have a girl, and you just, you're supposed to have those experiences, right? As young people. As a man, you're supposed to conquer. And women love that. Women try to act like they don't like a man who's kind of a little bit of who's promiscuous, but that's bullshit. It's different when a man's promiscuous than when a woman's promiscuous, because like a woman is on the receiving end, she's getting screwed, she's getting nailed, whereas a guy, he's the one doing the screwing and the nailing, and plus, like, it's just more natural. It's more just, it makes more sense that a man is supposed to be out there, having different types of women and having women, because men traditionally are the ones who go to war. Men are traditionally the ones who go into battle. Men traditionally are the ones who are the first to be sacrificed when all hell goes loose. On a Titanic, it said men and women first. Or not men and women first. On the Titanic, it said women and children first and men last. So you always hear those rules. It's like, no hurting the women or children. And if the ship's sinking down, it's the women and children that go first and the men go last. So traditionally, men didn't really live that long. And plus, if you look at history, not every single man that existed had the ability to reproduce. Only a few percentage of men got to reproduce, but a massive amount of women got to reproduce. And then you got people like Genghis Khan, who was every time he conquered a city, he was getting thousands of girls pregnant. Literally, you can look that up. you know, and he was freaky, but he had the power, wealth, and influence to do that. But besides that, man, it's you see, in your life, man, there's like, look at life kind of like a video game, because it feels like it at times, where you have your experience points, you have your EXP, and when a girl smiles at you, talks to you, likes you, allows you to allows you into her life, that raises your experience points and you start to level up. Because make no mistake, a lot of things start within your mind. But how can you control your mind when you're always depressed all the time? How can you control your thoughts and emotions and feelings where you feel depressed, where you keep getting these negative reinforcements? Every time you try, you get beaten down. Every time you try to do something good, like life just keeps on smacking you down. What are you supposed to do when you got to do DoorDash, when you got to do Amazon, when you got to do a warehouse job or something like that, which is good for excess men like us, but it's like you can't get no girl like that. You can't attract no female saying that you do DoorDash or, you know, you work for Amazon. They're gonna look at you like you're a failure and a loser. Then if you sit in your room all day and do nothing, they look at you as a failure and loser as well. And then who are these people to judge you? Oh, you don't do nothing with your life. You're a loser. Okay, if I'm a loser, how come I can rap? If I'm a loser, how come I can write? If I'm a loser, how come I can do all these things that you can't do? You know, right? And the only reason why I haven't made it is because there's a God in this world that doesn't want me to be happy because he has something against me. I believe the God of this world has something against me. You know, that's what I believe. I truly believe it with all my heart and soul that the God of this world, the demiurge of Gnosticism, Sophia's bastard, this God has something against me and he likes to loosh me. There's something about my soul that attracts people. There's something about my soul that this God likes. There's some purity, some rarity, some clarity, there's some transparency of my soul that this God sees and doesn't want me to ever succeed. Because this God believes once I succeed, I'll somehow undermine him or something like that. Because if I was a big YouTuber, right, and I start talking about the demiurge and talking about how this world is just a hellish prison, it's a hell realm, like we live in a hell realm, and the whole point of this realm is for us to get loosed. That's why we got specific problems that are just tormenting us. And let's say I have millions upon millions of subscribers. I guarantee you, YouTube would demonetize me, you know, and all that, you know, like if I had millions of subscribers, you know, YouTube would demonetize you, shadow ban your videos, people will start turning against you because the demiurge use that, because the demiurge does that, bro. Have you ever just been somewhere minding your business and then people who were kind of, you know, not cool with you, but they were just kind of neutral, then all of a sudden they become hostile towards you? I guarantee there's some being that's controlling them from the shadow realm, making them turn against you, you know? As you get older, man, you start to realize that this life and all the pain that you've been through, it just wasn't worth it. Because I always hear this in Christianity as well, that the more hell you go through, the more pain you go through, that's because you're chosen to be somebody great. That's why you're being targeted. That's why you're being attacked, is because God is preparing you to be somebody great. What about that guy who's like 19 or 20 years old that has $1,000,000 and he didn't have to go through anything? How did God prepare him to be great? He doesn't have to worry about finding a job. He doesn't have to worry about going to school and getting treated like a fool. He doesn't have to worry about being alone with no women. He doesn't have to worry about not having his copes. He doesn't even have to have copes because whatever he loves to do, he can just do it because he's wealthy and rich. So what is God going to use that guy? What is God going to do with Moist Critical, who made $35 million off of YouTube? What did he go through? He never had a job once. You see how unfair this world is? So I hate hearing that religious nonsense, where it's always, oh, you got to go through pain in order to be blessed. And you see people who never went through anything in life and they're blessed with all the things you want and you can dream and imagine. So how the hell is that even? How does that make sense? It makes sense because whoever this God is, whatever this demiurge creature thing, you know, half lion, half dragon, whatever the fuck it is, this creature has its favorites. This demiurge, it favors certain people and it absolutely despises other people. Point blank, period. And if your life is always been chaos, it's always been hell, you've always been going through something in your life, there's a high chance that this demiurge or this being doesn't like you. All the experiences that we get to miss out on, you know, going to the movies with a girl, getting sucked off in the car, you know, hitting it from the back in the jacuzzi. Like, these are experiences that strengthen the man's freaking heart. It strengthens your mind, you know? Can you imagine having a beautiful woman in your life? Can you imagine? Just close your eyes and imagine it. Like, I can't even fathom it now. I've been through so much hell in my life. I've been through so much pain that it's like hitting the lottery, trying to find a girl out here. And then trying to find a job that you actually like and stomach, that's like hell. That's like, you know, finding gold on the moon. You know, it's impossible. And then when you see people who are younger than you who make it, like I'm watching this one producer on YouTube, bro. He's like, what is he, like barely 19? He already got a car, he got his own house. He made about $2.3 million off of selling beats online. I'm like, how the fuck did he make it? You know, like how? And then he tells his story. It's because, like, you know, he had a family member that knew this person, that knew this person, that knew that person that was in the music industry. So it's always people that know people that have connections, right? And then every time I try to get connections or whatever, it never leads to nowhere, bro. And it's annoying. It's like something doesn't want me to make it, because once I make it, all my problems will be gone pretty much. I mean, I still got scars in my soul. I'm still old. I can never get back the lost time that I wasted, the tears that I wasted, the years that I wasted. You know, I can never get those things back, man. I can't. You know, but at least if I can come up upon some luck and get my money up to a high degree, maybe one of my beats take off. Maybe one of my raps take off. Maybe one of my books I'm going to write in the future takes off. Something takes off where I can get 6 figures or 7 figures or something, and I can actually change my trajectory. I mean, I'll still always be, you know, like I know too much now, so I'll never be like a blue pill normie simp. But at least I can have peace now. At least I can create a neat cave and never leave it. Because make no mistake, if I ever become rich and successful, I definitely will try to travel the world and experience things, of course. But after a while, after I did everything I wanted, I'm going back to my neat cave, point blank, period. But it's going to be a nicer neat cave. And, from time to time, I can get kush when I want. I can get women when I want. I can have power in my life. It's like this world wants us to feel powerless. I don't understand. It's like you can go through hell your entire life and never truly be blessed. You can go through so much problems, so much drama. Like I've been through so much, I could just scream. But if you show weakness as a man, people come like pariahs and piranhas to attack you and take a little nibble and take a little bite out of you and try to break you and eat you to the bone. You know? It's not a fair world we live in, and I don't think it was ever created to be fair. I truly believe this world was created as a hell realm. I guarantee. Like, what's today? What's today? Monday, Tuesday? What the hell? I don't know what day it is. My mind is so messed up, But whatever day it is, just know that by this weekend, I guarantee you, at least 3 times. I guarantee you. I guarantee. I'm not a prophet or anything. I just know how this gimme yours works. I guarantee 3 times this week, something's going to piss you off. Somebody's going to mess with you. Something's going to happen to disrupt your peace. Something's going to happen. And especially if you like live with your parents, especially if you live with people you live with different type of people, you live with roommates, or if you live in a dorm, there's always going to be something. It doesn't necessarily have to even involve you. It could be people fighting in the next room, and then they bang on your door and get you involved with the mess and the nonsense. And then now, and then now you got to deal with it. And it's like, what the hell, It could be something that's like minding your business at the park. I've had this happen to me numerous times. I'd be at the park somewhere minding my business, and police would just come up, you know, and then they'd be like, "Oh, but we got a call that there was a suspicious person that was like that was moving around or twitching around. Are you on any drugs or any substances?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm sitting here writing in my little book, you know what I mean? And somebody's watching me calling the police, and it's like, do you see what I mean? They tell you to touch grass when you actually, you know, quote unquote, get off your ass. I hate that saying, but you get off your ass and touch grass, then the police get called on you, then something bad happens, and they wonder why you want to stay inside your inkwell nest, your little neat cave, your tiny little neat bat cave or whatever, because it's dark in there. You feel safe in there. You can watch your anime in there. You can wank off in there. You can play video games in there and not be bothered by the damn world. But the world has a way of forcing you out your neat cave, forcing you out of your neat habits. This world has a way of doing that. And it's unfortunate, man. And then there's some people that are blessed. I see some people in this community talking about, oh yeah, I'm glad I'm neat. I'm so happy being neat. It's like you're only neat because the people around you allow you to be neat, and those people are going to pass away. And then what are you going to do then? I'm in that situation. You better heed my advice, because I'm living the hell that you fear. The hell that you fear, I'm living it. Imagine being in your mid-30s with nothing. Imagine that. No driver's license, no car, no girl, no family, no nothing. But just a passion to speak, like the Führer of old. Just the passion and the flame inside of your heart to write rhymes and rap your ass off. The passion to make beats and to make music. The passion to write books. I'm a creator. I am an artist, damn it. I am not a wage cook. I am not a wage servant. But I'm forced to be. I have creativity, innovation inside of my soul. And yet I'm forced to kiss the dust of the ground. I'm forced to be some type of just excess man. It's annoying. It's like, why is there an entire planet with all these resources in a first world, quote unquote, first world country, even though America's feeling like a third world country now, but you have all these quote unquote resources, yet you still have homeless people, you know, homeless people. How does a nation as rich as America how's that even possible? Because you don't have a 9 to 5. It's like, are you crazy? People have mental issues, people have physical issues, some people are in the wheelchair, some people can't walk, some people can't even move their arms, some people have mental issues. They have literally mental debilitating features, that they can't really work a regular 9 to 5. And yet people lose sympathy or empathy for that. Like people, like the poor will, like the proletariat will attack each other, but never attack the rich people. You guys will never attack, the elites, the people who are on Epstein's island. People never go after that. Like the regular everyday people. They love to call us losers and failures, but at least we're not freaking on Epstein's list doing crazy crap. At least we have morals. At least at least like the bad things we do is what? Smoke a little weed, play some video games all day. That's unproductive. Okay, I'd rather be unproductive doing what I like, quote unquote, and instead of being on Epstein's island. And another thing is like, who are you to say what's productive or not? Because what is productivity? Productivity to the system is helping the Jays get richer because they own the system. You know, do you know who owns the banking system? Do you know who owns the housing system? Do you know who owns the electric system? Do you know who owns every damn system? Guess. Just guess. There was a famous painter in World War II who spoke about it, and they demonized that man. I'm not saying the man was perfect. I'm not saying that he wasn't evil, didn't have any evil ways, right? But what I'm saying is that there's people that are way more evil than him. He was looking out for his people, looking out for his nation, and yet the world demonized him. But when you have certain, how do I say this? When you have certain people with the shekels that look out for their nation, everybody has to kiss that nation's ass. And if you call it out, then you're the one that gets targeted. Now, what does that say about who's a real big bully in this situation? Take a wild guess, right? And this world just forces us to compromise. It forces us to lose ourselves. It forces us to not be who we really are. I can never be who I truly am because I'll never be a wealthy and powerful man. If I was a wealthy and powerful man, do you really, really, really think I'll be sitting here making these videos, complaining about isolation and loneliness and all that? I'll be living my freaking life. And the videos that you'll be seeing will be me on a boat with some beautiful Stacy's, hitting it from the back, hell, you know what I mean? Blowing on some good Mary Jane to the brain. But since I'm a person that's poor, a person that has a skin color configuration that's not accepted by this nation, I'm going to speak the damn truth. Because I don't have the blinders on. I have raw, real reality in front of me. And I'm just telling you exactly how reality is. We live in a merciless, evil world. We live in a truly dark world, and we're in truly dark times. We are not in some happy-go-lucky times. We are in an evil, 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 vile, sick, twisted world. We are not in a good world, man. There are evil people that are ruling over us, yet people don't want to do anything about it. The minute those files came out, this should have been hell on the streets. This should have been people going like, I'm not going to even get into that because, yeah. But let's just say this. There was a thing called the French Revolution. And that's all I got to say. And power only respects power. That's all. Power only respects power, man. And when you've been powerless your whole entire life, it's really hard to try to think you can do anything, man. Especially when you have people who've always been against you. You got family members that are haters. You got friends or associates that are haters. You got people who are in the same community as we. Do you know how many blue pill, black pillars are in this community? Like they pretend to be based. They pretend to be black pillars, but let you talk about the wrong girl or talk about the wrong thing, and they'll turn on you and switch on you in a heartbeat. Make a video about a girl that they like, who's a whore and a thought, and watch them all of a sudden twist and turn at you. Like, what are you doing, man? Oh, no, man. She got mental issues, man. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I got mental issues, too. And ain't nobody give a damn about me, right? There's millions of men with mental issues, and nobody, and they're thrown to the side like a rotten fish head. No one cares. There's always going to be that female privilege, point blank period, always. Always. You see, a woman can have somebody kiss her ass, whether it's stinky or not. But for a man, you have to come up with your own plot to get this guap. and the world would never stop.